And welcome back to Talk of the Town. My next guests are Dave Schlossberg and Jenna McCormick from the Madison Walk for National Eating Disorders Association, or NEDA. Welcome, guys.
Thanks so much.
Good to have you with us today. So there's a really important walk coming up that kind of highlights the importance of or awareness for eating disorders. Why was it important? Why is this walk so important to organize in dealing with eating disorders? And talk to us a little bit about what NEDA is.
Yeah, so NEDA is the National Eating Disorder Association, and their vision is to see a world without eating disorders. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot goes into that, but what we're kind of focusing on is both raising awareness and fundraising. Now, it's important because the average life of an eating disorder is about 5 years, okay? Which means that that's a lot of treatment.
Yeah.
It's a lot of education, medical expenses, and advocating for your needs and rights to services. And whether that's with an insurance company, or if negotiating private pay situations, or managing your personal expenses, people struggling with eating disorders need a lot of financial support. And that's a really important piece of the puzzle because it allows us to support in a meaningful way. That really leads results.
Yeah, and there's a huge financial burden then for those folks who are actually trying to seek treatment for eating disorders.
Absolutely,
for sure.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Right. So I'm wondering if someone can give us a better perspective on what it's like to have an eating disorder and what are the associated risks that go with that.
Sure. Yeah. I've struggled with an eating disorder, and I think oftentimes I compare it to if you have like a hobby that you like to do, and then it kind of turns into an obsession and then starts to kind of take over your life. And it really just starts to run and interfere with every aspect of your life, social, health-wise, job-wise. Oftentimes it really affects every part of your life. And it's something that is oftentimes not talked about, and so people oftentimes are ashamed about it, which is a big reason why we're doing this walk, is to raise awareness and help get it out there and get people talking about it.
Get it out in the open, in other words. It almost sounds like a form of OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what should one do if they think that they have an eating disorder, or if they think they know somebody who has an eating disorder? You know, how are they treated? What can they do?
Yeah. I think what's important that Dave said is that there's this feeling that either you're the only person in the world that's feeling like this, or that, you know, maybe it's not that bad, maybe you just need to start eating, maybe, you know, you need to stop exercising. But it's so much more complex than that. There's so much more going on. So if you're just open about it, of this is what I'm experiencing, this is what I'm going through, it's not only going to help yourself, but it'll help someone else. And showing that maybe if you see someone else that you're thinking maybe is struggling, reach out, see if they need support. Anything that you can do to say, you know, I'm here for you and I'm here to support you, it's going to benefit them and just bring awareness to eating disorders overall.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, and I think oftentimes eating disorders, because food is such a common thing, it often gets downplayed in terms of the seriousness of it. But in fact, it's I believe it's the most deadly of mental illnesses. And so if you are thinking maybe somebody you know or a loved one is struggling with this issue, it's really important to talk to them and kind of just broach it, and you know, maybe it will help them out.
So what's the next step after somebody realizes that they have a problem and they need treatment? What treatment options are available here in Madison?
So I'm going to answer that question starting with what we don't have. Okay. So what we don't have is an inpatient, which is the acute level of care hospitalization. And we need a specialized unit for that. Now, because what we've talked about is eating disorders are so complex. No two are exactly alike. Right. There's so much going on psychologically that needs to be addressed. But on top of that, there's a very serious medical component and a threat to your physical health. Right. So you need a specialized staff and a specially designed unit that's going to address both of those things at the same time, on top of whatever comorbid disorders are going on. Yeah. So we don't have that. We don't have a residential program. We do have a part-time hospitalization program, which is by Rogers Memorial Hospital, which we're very fortunate to have because there's not a lot of those available. What we do have, which I'm over the moon excited about, is an excellent outpatient therapeutic staff. Okay. People that really want to bridge that gap, whether it's you know, my position at Walden Living, which is offering people a place to live. If it's Edelweiss Behavioral Health, which
Sure.
just started an intensive outpatient program, or the Eating Disorder Support Network, which started a lot of groups in response
Sure.
to the growing need of a gap kind of between support and peer support as well.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought up those three is that they were instrumental in our walk,
Yeah.
both in getting large teams, getting a lot of people involved, spreading awareness, as well as being sponsors for it. So.
Really quickly, the date of the walk is
Was actually September 20th.
September 20th. Oh, okay, so it's come and gone now.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct, yep.
but people can still get involved with NIDA. And all they
Exactly.
got to do is just go to the website then.
Yep,
Exactly.
absolutely.
And if you go to the website and search for Madison Walk, you can still donate to our walk, and it's important to raise funds for eating disorder support.
Great. Well,
Absolutely.
Dave Schlossberg and Jenna McCormick, thank you so much for joining us
Yes,
today.
thank
for
you so
having
much.
us.
Don't go away. There's more Talk at the Town coming up right after this.